and when they go for it, what happens is they need to actually get together with a local. Now here you can go with any of these three, and then you can go and form a contract manufacturing in the foreign country. They used to manufacture the entire component in different places, but when it comes to assembling, they used to give it to China. So here the standard will definitely come down. Sometimes what happens is even for the payment of royalty, there will be a problem. Hello everybody, a warm welcome to one and all. I'm Abhilash Chandra from the Department of Business Studies in Vidhyaashram PU College, the Temple of Excellence. Welcome to all the students here. Now in this chapter, that is international business, we are supposed to study so many documents, so many things. And here I have brought one of the very important topic, that is modes of entry into international business. Now in the previous sessions, we have started about the exporting and importing. Now we'll go with the next one, that is contract manufacturing and licensing and franchising. Now earlier I told you about how and when and why we actually go for exporting and importing. Now in this sessions we'll go with the next one, that is contractual manufacturing. Now here what exactly this term is. Now contract manufacturing in the sense, a host country and a foreign country, just think about this relationship where the foreign country will actually go to the host country wherever they really want to go for the business. And when they go for it, what happens is they need to actually get together with a local company, and they are supposed to go for a tie-up, and then they will start their production. So this is what the contractual manufacturing is. Now, contract manufacturing refers to a type of international business where a firm enters into a contract with one or a few local manufacturers in foreign countries to get certain components or goods produced as per its specification. Now, here what happens, say example, now we have India as an example with USA. Now, contract manufacturing, what happens is, now Indian company, they will actually go to USA, and in that USA, what happens is the local manufacturers are there. We'll meet those local manufacturers, we'll actually come to an agreement, we'll make a contract, and then we'll start manufacturing the components. So that is called the contract manufacturing. That means we have taken a contract. That is what it is. Now here it can actually go with three types of forms. Now the first one which you should know is contract manufacturing is also called as outsourcing, and it goes with three things. The first one here is production of automobile component. Now I'm just giving an example of just one of the automobile component. You can go with garments, you can go with any kind of a thing like manufacturing of shoes, all those you can actually go. Next is assembly of components into final product. Now you have kind of raw materials and you can go to that particular place and then you can assemble it to the final product. Now example I'll give you, like Apple company. Now earlier what Apple used to do is, Apple is all made in California, but when you understand, the assembling was done in China. Next you will go with complete manufacture of the products such as garments. Now here you can go with any of these three, and then you can go and form a contract manufacturing in the foreign country, but you are supposed to meet the local merchant. Going to a foreign country and merging with the foreigners, that is not possible. So you are supposed to go to the local manufacturers and then you can tie up with it. That is called contract manufacturing. Now I've listed out here a few of the important, that is the advantages of going for a contract manufacturing. The first one here is contract manufacturing permits the international firm to get the goods produced. That is, you can go for it on a large scale without requiring investment in the setting up production facility. That means you don't need any kind of investments there. You can have a contract within the people who have already invested. So this firm make use of production facility like already existing in the foreign countries. So that is what the benefit is, where you are not supposed to go with more investment. See, you don't need to actually buy land there. You don't need to buy make a building or plant machineries, raw material. It is already there. You are supposed to only go and you need to talk to those people with the contract and which will benefit them as well as you. So the investment is less here. Secondly, if you go, since there is no or little investment in the foreign countries, there is hardly any investment risk. So here you will not get investment risk involved in the foreign country. So what happens is you are free with the investment risk. Some of the people who really want you people to at least go for some funding, then what happens is whatever you are investing, only those money will be in a risk. But majorly, if you understand the contract manufacturing here, what happens is you will have less investment or no investment at all. The same way, local producers in foreign countries also gain from contract manufacturing. If they have any idle production capacity manufacturing job obtained on contract basis, in a way provided a ready market for their product and ensure greater utilization of their production capacity. Say example, we always learn that foreign order and domestic order. Now, when we go to a foreign country and then we tell those people that we are helping you people to generate more income and to make more profit, now the foreign country people will also feel that good, because whatever was idle production was there, now they'll start it and optimally they'll use all the resources which they have already taken from somebody. So here what happens is you are giving them a helping hand, plus the people whoever are manufacturing those goods, even they feel that there is somebody who can share risk. So what happens is it's always like win-win case for both the parties, that is a local party as well as a foreign party. Next here, say example, I'll give you here Godrej. Now Godrej Group is benefiting from contract manufacturing in India. It is manufacturing soaps under contract. Now what are they doing is they are manufacturing soap under the contract. Now what exactly happens is multinational including Dettol soap for Reckitt and Coleman, this has considerably helped it making use of its excess soap manufacturing capacity. Now those people who have excess manufacturing of soaps, what they feel is when they make a contract manufacturing agreement with somebody, here what happens is they can utilize their 100% capacity instead of using only 40% capacity and manufacturing soap. Still they have 60% of capacity which they are not manufacturing. If they have a contract manufacturing with some other, say example, we have here Dettol soap for Reckitt and Coleman. Now here what happens is they can maximize their resources, plus they can maximize their manufacturing capacity. Now again here what happens is the cost of production will be less. When the cost of production is less, the profitability is more. That is what happens in the contract manufacturing. Next one here is contract manufacturing also gives an advantage to the international company of getting products manufactured or assembled at lower cost. So this is what Apple used to do. That is, they used to manufacture the entire component in different places, but when it comes to assembling, they used to give it to China. The reason is what? The lower cost, especially in the local producers, happen to be situated in countries which have lower material and labor costs. Now Chinese, they had lower or lesser material costs as well as labor. Now what has happened is, now they have moved to India, and that too in Bangalore. Now what happens, whatever they used to pay for Chinese people, now they're gonna pay for Indians. But here again, the rupee and the China currency has a difference, right? That is what, again, it will be a benefit for whom? For the California people, that is the Apple company. So it is always both the way. It is what benefited for the local merchant as well as the people who are actually going for the foreign manufacturers. So both the manufacturers will actually have more benefit. The reason here is whichever country they come, the country will actually get employment, plus the country which is giving this contract manufacturing, even they'll have more productivity, plus they'll have more profitability. Last one is the local manufacturer also gets the opportunity to get involved with international business and avail incentives, if any, available to the export firm in case the international firm desire goods so produced be delivered at its home country or some other foreign countries. Now they have one of the thing, that is a local manufacturer. He can decide to which particular country he can actually sell his products. So here both the parties, that is the foreign party as well as the local party, both will have mutual benefit. That's the reason they go for contract manufacturing. But there are few limitations of contract manufacturing. The first one, if you need to understand, is when you go with a contract manufacturing, local firm might not adhere to production design and quality standard, thus causing serious product quality problems to the international firm. The way the international firm looks to the local market here, the local market are not so skilled, so that whatever the international market, they'll actually put a standard, the local merchant cannot actually be in the same standard or the same level. Second, as local manufacturer in the foreign country loses his control over the manufacturing process, because goods are produced strictly as per the terms and specification of the contract. Now that means here the local manufacturer will not have more authority or rights, because he or she need to actually listen to the foreign manufacturers, because they have more investment than the local manufacturer. The last one is the local firm producing under contract manufacturing is not free to sell the contracted output as per its will. That means they have so many restrictions. It has to sell the goods to the international company at predictable prices. Now again, predetermined prices is actually done by whom? The prices are put by the foreign manufacturer. This result in lower profit for local firm if the open market price for such goods happen to be higher than the price agreed upon under the contract. Now here what happens is, it's always a benefit for the foreign manufacturer than the local manufacturer. That's the reason in the contract manufacturing you are supposed to always be very specified, and what exactly the roles, the duties, what exactly we can go for it, what we are not supposed to do. Everything should be listed properly, so that the local manufacturer will get a benefit or an edge of making more profit. So these are the things are there in the contract manufacturing. In simple, if I need to tell you what exactly a contract manufacturing is, there will be two parties where a foreign country will actually meet a local manufacturer, and they will actually decide what are the products they are supposed to do. Now I told you about three things, that is, one, they can assemble, they can manufacture, they can actually go for all the products whichever they feel like. Now best example is Godrej, where they have actually started to manufacture soap also. The reason why we go with contract manufacturing is to optimally utilize all the resources, both the foreigner manufacturer as well as the local manufacturer. So next one we have is licensing and franchising, which you are supposed to know. The first one I have given here is licensing. Now what exactly licensing is, I'll tell you. Now licensing is a contractual agreement. It's a contractual agreement in which one firm grants access to its patents, trade secrets or technology to another firm in the foreign country for a fee called royalty. That means what? You'll have something called royalty. That is what you are supposed to pay, royalty. The firm that grants such permission to the other firm is known as licensor. So the person who actually grants the license is called licensor. A person who receives it is called as licensee. So the next one here we have is franchising. Now franchising is a term very similar to licensing, but here the problem here what exactly happens is, there is one difference between licensing and franchisee, that is, franchisees goes with more of services rather than any other things. Now franchisee is a term very similar to licensing. One of major distinctions between the two is that while the former is used to connection with production and marketing of goods, the term franchising applies to service business. So that is the only distinct feature, that is what licensing is and what franchising is. Now the more you understand about franchising, it's all about the service business. Now I've given a few of the importance of these two. That is the first one. Under the licensing or franchising system, it is the licensor or franchisor. A person who gives license or franchise is called as licensor or franchisor. Who set up the business unit and invest his or her own money in the business. As such, the licensor, franchisor has to virtually make no investment abroad. That means they have done everything, they have set up. Now whoever will continue their licensing or franchising, now the owners of the firm will not invest at all. That is the first one. Second is licensee or franchisee. Now licensee is a person who has taken the license. Franchisee is a person who has taken the franchisee. Being a local person has greater market knowledge and contract, which can prove quite helpful to the licensor and franchisor. Say example, now KFC is there. Now KFC was started by a person called David Harlan Sanders. Now even in India, say Bangalore, Mumbai, Delhi, you have places where KFC is there. Now David Harlan Sanders, he will not invest in India to actually go with KFC. Now what happens is the Indian market knows about the popularity of KFC. Now they are the one who will give money and they are the one who will make more benefit within India. Now David Harlan Sanders never knew what's the market happening in India. So that is what it is. That means the person who is a licensor or a franchisor, they don't need to know the real market about the abroad game, but still they'll get more profit. Since no or very little foreign investment is involved, licensor and franchisor is not a party to the losses, if any, that occurs to a foreign business. So there will be no loss for those two people, that is a licensor as well as franchisor. Licensor, franchisor is paid by the licensee and franchisee by the way of fee fixed in advance as percentage of production or sale turnover. This happens on the way they go with the contract of licensing and franchising. Since the business is in foreign country, is managed by the licensee and franchisee who is a local person, there are lower risk of business takeover or government intervention. So here the government will not be intervening the business very frequently because the people who have taken this licensing and the franchisee are the local people, so they'll manage it. Lastly, as per the term of licensing and franchising agreement, only parties to the licensing and franchising agreement are legally entitled to make use of the licenses, franchises, copyrights, patents and brand name in foreign country. Apart from that, nobody else can actually go for licensing and franchising. That means you have more security here. Now supposingly I have taken a licensing or a franchising of any of the product or services, only I am actually supposed to start it, nobody else can start it. If they want to start it, they are supposed to go to the licensor and the franchisor to take the patent or the right so that they can start the business. So these are the advantages of franchising and licensing. But still there are a few of the demerits or limitations of these two. The first one is when a licensee and franchisee become skilled in the manufacturing and marketing of the license or franchise product, there is a danger that the licensee can start marketing an identical product under the slightly different brand name. So here what happens is, say KFC chicken. Now there are many people who have taken the franchisee of KFC. Now afterwards what happens is, after 3 years or 4 years, when they know the trade secret of KFC, now there are many people who have started some other product with the same kind of a taste. That is what happens in the limitations. The second one here is, if not maintained properly, trade secrets can get divulged to other in the foreign market. Such lapses on the part of licensee and franchisee can cause severe losses to the licensor and franchisor. Now here what happens is, now in India probably there are say more than 300 to 400 outlets of KFC. Now even the local market people, they know how to actually manufacture the KFC ingredient chickens. Now what happens is there is a problem for whom? For the real licensor and the franchisor, because people can actually make it and it can actually give losses to those franchisor and the licensor. Over time, conflicts often develop between the licensor and the licensee over issues such as maintenance of account, payment of royalty, and non-adherence to norms relating to production and quality products. Now, you can only understand that if you eat in a KFC of, say, Bangalore, and if you compare with KFC of Mumbai, there is a lot of difference. But it should not happen actually. I'm just giving an example of KFC. You can go with McDonald's, you can go with any kind of stores where you have taken franchisee or a licensing. The service always have a difference because humans are heterogeneous, and that will actually lead to the standards of the company bit low. Now here what happens is everybody cannot be treated in the same way. The same way everybody, whoever takes the franchisee or the licensing, even they cannot come with the same standard. So here what happens is ultimately the people will not talk about the person who has taken the license, they'll actually talk about the person who has given the license. So here the standard will definitely come down. Sometimes what happens is even for the payment of royalty, there will be a problem. Say 2 months or 3 months they wouldn't have paid the royalty, or a 1 year or 2 year they have not paid a royalty, but still they are going with it. So these are the limitations of franchising and licensing. Hope you people have understood this. If not, please do call us. We are always there to help you. Thank you so much, students. I'll see you when I see you.